Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and I am back today with my fabric sale haul. Now, I don't know if I'll get through all of it today. I doubt it, or in this video, but I will, wherever I leave off here, I will continue in the next video if there is a part 2. And it should say on this video if it's part 1 versus whether it's just one huge long video. I don't know. So at the fabric sale this year, we went, there was Thelma and myself and Jen and Deb we met up with, and Jen's husband, Rob, came along, and lots of fun. He's a fun fellow. Hi, Rob, if you're watching. Crazy. He has some great jokes, good sense of humor. And he kind of was there to help Jen as the bag man. And then he joined us for lunch after. We had some great conversations and good times. So when we got to the fabric sale, they kind of, you all stand in line and they let you in. They open up the doors, but before, they wait till 9 o'clock. And so we're standing in line, and they kind of give you a basic layout so that if you've been there before, you know where to head for what, whether you want quilting pieces or yarns or scrapbook crafting type products, or certain dressmaker things. And so it's all laid out, sewing notions in different areas, sort of. And so when you get in there, you kind of beeline to whatever you think you want first. And of course, fabric, it doesn't matter if you get late to the party in fabric. And I think it's almost better if you get late to the party in fabric because it's not so overwhelming. Although even at the end, when they're making their final sales, there is still a ton of stuff. And you can buy fabric by pieces, by rolled up bunches. You can fill a bag, depending on what kind of fabrics. They have smaller pieces and offcuts and things that you can fill a bag full. I did one bag. And so there's all kinds of things. And, I have a lot of fabric, and there's lots to choose from there, no shortage. But I said, I'm going to try to hold back a little bit on the fabric. And I think I did, but I got caught up in everything else. So I still spent a lot of money there, but there's so much value that, it's very easy to buy these things. And so when they said the fibers and wool were kind of in one section, Thelma and I said, oh, let's do that. Let's go there first and then beeline to the other areas. And so we all kind of have our own plan of what's interesting to us. So when I went about 3 tables in, because if like a banquet size table, there must have been 15 tables of just wool, and then probably another few tables of wool or like wool and fiber, and of those supplies like needles and books and half-finished projects and patterns and all kinds of extra paraphernalia that you need for doing knitting and crocheting, including like full sets of crochet hooks, different things. But I don't need any of that kind of stuff. So I beelined in probably about 3 or 4 tables in, and Thelma went sort of in a different direction. So we kind of scanned and went around each other from different directions. And every once in a while we'd get close and I'd show her a bag and she'd go, oh yeah, that's cool. And so vice versa. So when we came back to the house, the bags were getting ripped open. Well, I carefully opened mine. You know me. So I carefully opened my bags. And as I went through my yarn and she went through hers, we would show each other. And if she wanted something from me, I put the yarn in another pile for her. And anything she didn't want, or if it was duplicates, I just put it right back in the bag after I looked at it. And with Thelma, when Thelma was picking wools, she went there with the idea that she only wanted certain ones and just a small amount. So if there was a ball of yarn, she took maybe this much of the whole ball. She just rolled it up. And so she did the same with mine. She took mine and rolled up what she wanted and threw the rest back at me. So needless to say, I got all of hers too. So when I repacked all these bags, it's not the same stuff in the bag because yarn was flying and the cat was there having a great time, and Thelma was cutting up pieces for Luda to play with, and there was just yarn, and amongst all the other things that we had. And so after the yarn, there's also the laces and trims. And again, I bought some bags because a lot of them are mixed assorted bags. And then Thelma bought some bags, but she cherry picked what she wanted and left the rest for me. So I will share it with the girls, but I don't even know what's mine anymore or what's hers. I mean, in the yarns and laces and stuff. But yeah, she was limited to how much she could take in her suitcase. And it didn't matter to her because the prices were so low that even if you wanted one or two things out of the bag, you could let the rest of it go because it was still worth it for what you took. So needless to say, everything's a schmozzle. I don't remember whose is what and what is whose in some cases, but I will show you everything I have. And for Deb and Jen, if you need some fibers, you know where to get them. And Deb, no, I do not need any fibers. She keeps buying fibers and she asks me on her videos and I laugh. No, I don't need any more fibers, and you will see why. Because you already know what's in my studio. And now when you see what else I have over here, you are going to giggle when you see how much stuff I have. So let's get started. Now this bag I originally bought was about this size, because of the size of the bag, and it was $4. This does not necessarily mean that's what's in the bag. And you'll see there's lots of duplicates too. So when you see the duplicates, you'll know that there were some that came from Thelma and some came from me. But I love this mint green. And there are two balls. I know that this came with white and pink, but they ended up in another bag. So there must have been more than two balls because I think Thelma, maybe she took some from this one. Yeah, this one's a little thin. So she took some of this from me as a thin wool, but it's such a beautiful color, and the fibers are so fun. If you crochet these into a chain, you make a nice thicker trim, or you can use this to couch on your slow stitching, and nice for tassels, all kinds of uses. So I'm not even going to go into all the things that I'm going to use this for, but I love the color. So I see this more for like ocean, that type of thing coming up. So I hope I'm in camera here. Good. Okay. So I'm not going to go into big details about all these fibers, but I'll show you them as we go along and then put them back in the bag. So I'll start with doing that. So yeah, girls, when you come, you know that you've got some fibers to go through. Bring some cards. Kind of a variegated pink, purple, and sort of a magenta color. Love it. A little bit of lilac in there as well. Not eyelash trim. Not eyelash. What is this? Well, Another one in multicolors. This one's got a little purple, some coral, yellow, fun stuff. This one has pinks and purples and greens. Again, I don't know if Thelma took some or if this is something she gave me. It's just a mix. Ivory, can never have enough of this ivory color. I love using this. Okay, it's not eyelash. What is it? This is eyelash, isn't it? This one's eyelash and the other one's boa trim, right? This is boa. No, this is eyelash. This must be boa. I don't know. I forget. Red and black. I think Deb just bought some red and black from somewhere, I think. And if not, I've got two balls. And then a very pretty pink. Let's put some of that away as we go along. Now I have, all my fibers are color coordinated, except for the really mixed ones. Then I have to choose what color they are. So I will put all these away in their rightful spots. A lot of these I already have the color, but because the price is so low and they give you these mixed bags, even if there's only one that I want, I pick them up anyway because I know I'm going to use it. And I know, now that I have Jen and Deb to come visit and take some stuff, that they'll take some. So this is kind of just another variegated pinks and purples. I think it's the same one in there. Gray, sort of a silvery gray color. Just fun to work with. I love this stuff. And I love this green shade. It's so pretty. Kind of a light brown silvery color brown. And then this one, I guess this is good for fall journals because it's got like the black, or maybe Halloween. Reminds me of candy corn when I see it. Orange, yellow, fun stuff. So that's one bag. So you can see what I mean. Now this next bag, again, I don't know if I paid $2 for it. I paid $2 for something, but it may not be this. And again, it's mixed with some of Thelma's. And so this one has that very sparkly ribbon. You know, it's got like little squares in it. I hope you can see those. It's like almost like a little. It's two strands together. So there's like a just a plain gold, orangey gold, and then the yellow. I love this color, and these ribbons I love to use through the sewing machine when I'm decorating. They are perfect amount of glitter to add to a project that has nothing. And so sometimes I will run this alongside of my stitches when I'm stitching something so that I catch it at the same time, and it just gives you that right amount of glitz on things that you're doing. So this one's kind of a birthday cake kind of coloring, or party kind of coloring. Love that. Kind of a pinky carnival look. And this one's got a little bit more, it doesn't have quite, it doesn't have those squares in it for starters. Now I've knotted this up. Okay. I'm caught onto something here. And then, I'm really caught onto something. Okay, this is the problem here. This doesn't belong, I think. I don't know. I'll have to work on this. Oh, I think somebody was, oh, that's it. Somebody was extracting this color. So this is the two combined are on here. Okay, and so they were extracting to get the two colors separately. Well, that's kind of nice too, but I like the mix, so I may just cut that and stop it right there. And then more of this same colors that were in the other batch. So yeah, there's quite the collection here. Maybe I should spread them out so you can see them all. And then this one is a little bit more orangey, and I like this color. This is a color I use a lot of. It's got a little bit of green and yellow in it. So this is a color I use to enhance. I love adding this into snippet rolls when I'm doing them. And again, when I'm stitching, I add this with it, and it just makes everything pop. And then here is another bag. Now this bag must have been, I don't even have a price on this bag. So again, I can't tell you, but they were like $3 to $4 a bag. And oh, this one says $4. So I don't remember what was in what, but you get the idea. And there was at least 6 to 10 rolls at least in some of these bags. Some of them had more. But here is a chocolate brown. This one's called Cha-Cha. I don't know if that's what they call it for sure, but it's Cha-Cha in a chocolate brown. And then this is a beautiful blue shade, which would be nice again for ocean type journals. Another ivory one, maybe slightly different, but nice all the same. Another one of these pinky purple. So these show up a lot. I've got a few of these plus in the first bag. This one, a little bit purple with brown and teal and a little bit of navy or a darker blue color. Very nice. I like that color. Oh, here's another bag. So we must have had some in this bag, and it was a $2 bag. More of that same purple. So girls, I'll be putting one of these for sure in your bucket. Once I sort them too, if there's extras, they'll be the other two will be getting some of these, because we've been sharing all kinds of stuff back and forth, and it's fun. You know, it's fun to have somebody to share this stuff with, and then it's fun because when I watch their videos, like, oh, got a little piece of this for you, Kim. I got this for you, Kim. So it is fun and exciting to know that I have someone to share with. So this is another roll of that fuzzy yarn. I think, again, this feels very thin, so Thelma must have rolled up some of this one, and it matched the green that I had over there. Another icy blue color, the silver a little bit. Now, this might have been where I got some back because she was taking the silver. And a nice blue. Another batch of it. This purple color. Ooh, this one's nice. It's very sparkly. I'm into purple right now, and so are the other girls, and it just cracks me up because we were all looking for purple at the sale, and I've seen them both show purple things that they've picked up, and I have a few purple things too that they didn't get. And this one is black and white and gray. This is lovely. Very nice. Soft. Oh, I can just lie on all this stuff. And this one is another pink one with the purple. I don't know if it's the same color or not, but going in the pile. Silver black. Another pink one. This one's a little bit more fallish as well. Not so much Halloween, but it's got like the oranges and browns. This reminds me of fall. A mint green with a little bit of teal blue and ivory in it. Nice. A ball of white. And white is always good because no matter what, if you don't use a lot of white, you can certainly change the color if you want. And this one's just a fuzzy ivory. I like this stuff. This is cool. And another fuzzy ivory. I think it's the same one. Might be a little bit. Oh, no, it's the same color. And then this also came with this. They were these two colors and the other three all in one bucket together. So this one is a little bit more blue with a light, like an ocean and a teal blue and some pink and orange. Quite a combination of colors. So in just looking at this, I guess I would put it into probably a blue bin, or I'm also thinking of just starting a container of mixed colors so that I actually venture into those colors to look for something, because you know, I might be doing something with teal and want something that's got teal and a few other colors. It's hard to sometimes decide what color something is when you're going to store it away. So that's one of those colors. So I think I have to start a separate little bin just for these oddballs. Some more dark brown. Another batch. This is pretty. I don't know if this was part roll or what was in the container, but it's got green and teal blue in it. So lovely. Another Halloween one. Another pink one. This is blue with gray and brown in it. Lovely. Another Halloween one. Guess you girls are getting Halloween. Another brown. This is that eyelash trim for sure. I think, yeah, that's eyelash and this is boa, isn't it? That's how you say it. I call them all flu fibers. That's my thing for them. Another of this gray, silver and blue and brown and silver. And another one. This one is interesting. This one is kind of a gunmetal silver color. Like it's a metal. And it's got a black core, so that's what gives it that darker look to it. But very pretty. Silvery and shiny. Shiny, shiny. And then this was a pink one that went with all that. I think there was a pink one in the other bag too. So she may have pulled off of this one, and then the other bag I just put in my bin, or in my bucket, my bag. And then another one of these green ones. So that is the basic. I think that's all the wool. I think. So yeah, that's the wool. I don't know how much we spent. You know, like I said, I don't even know if these are the rightful bags or if I'm missing bags. And, you know, because I have some of Thelma's, I don't know you know, I just squished it all into as many or as few bags as I could. So now I have to just set it all aside by color, sort it out by color, and then redistribute into Jen and Deb's boxes so that they get some of this to help me reduce mine. And then if there are colors that I only have one of, they can come and card their own. I am not carding fibers for you guys. You got to come and do that yourself. But you know where to find it. Okay, so let's get this off the table. Oh my goodness. So now you know why I'm anxious to get all this stuff done and put away. Okay, so this next one was on my own I found, and I said I found purple. I found purple. Beat you to it, girls. But you'll get some of it when you come. Or I can cut some off of it, actually, for you. So this was $1 for the bag. I don't know if Thelma took some or not, but there is so much yardage on here, it wouldn't matter. And so it's about 2.5 inch wide, maybe 3 inches wide. I'm not sure. Just grab my ruler. Yeah, it's about 2.5 inches wide, but nice for trims. So that's something I will also redistribute and card and get out of my way. And this is a bag of trims. Now, I'm not sure. I think this was something Thelma got and took out what she wanted, or vice versa. I don't remember. I don't remember. But a very pretty trim here. Pink ribbon. Some pink lace. This is very pretty. Lots of this GIMP fabric. What's nice about using this stuff is you can glue it down to your project, sort of like on the edge of a journal card or the edge of your stuff. And then you can do some beading along the bottom here to make it a tassel trim if you like. Very pretty. This is also nice in the middle of a ruffle, down the whole center of a ruffle to make it a little bit more decorative. And there's different widths of this GIMP trim and different designs. So if you look at this, that's 3 different designs right there. And then there's even some ivory here, a small piece. So some of this, you know, in the smaller pieces, I will put in my slow stitching. If you watched my last video, I got this really cool compartment thing from Val on a hook that has all these little zipper compartments, and I talked about making little snippet bundles to go in each of the pockets. So that is coming, and so stuff like this would be perfect to put into those things. Small little bits that I can use in my slow stitching. So I will start to fill that thing and bring you along when I'm working on it. And this is just more. There's a lot of yardage on here, and now you have to be careful when you're getting stuff like this. If it's an offcut from someone, sometimes the threads start to pull. What is good about this, and I don't feel bad about doing this with this because I have lots of GIMP. But when you have this type of trim and it's unraveling, you can actually use these unraveled things like fibers, like just the same as you would for a tassel. So maybe you have a color that you really don't like, you know, puke green, although I like puke green when it's not puke. I do like that color for some of my projects, but because it's already started to unravel, now I'm just going to go a little ways, but you can continue to pull these out and then make some fun fibers that you can use for your projects. And it takes a little bit of yanking to do. And then I've gone as far as ironing it flat, but you have to watch for the really thin nylon-y stuff because that can melt. So if you do iron it with a tea towel or something over top of it so that you don't stick it to your iron or burn it. or melt it. But great fibers that you can also use in a project, especially when you want to match something. So maybe you are using that puke green on your on your project, but you need to make a tassel. Well, you can take some of this off and add it into a tassel, so it complements, and it's all cohesive together because there is a little bit of that puke green color, even though we're talking about white. So I'm going to put this one aside because I'm going to have to fix this one now so that it doesn't continue to unravel. But then there's some ivory trim. Oh, see, this one is unraveling too, and I'm not going to pull this one all apart, but this one's a wider trim. So again, it would be something that you can get all of these fibers and pull them apart. And then this purple is lovely. Isn't this gorgeous, girls? Look what I got. I have some purple journals coming too, and my purple has just gone down so much. So it's kind of nice to replenish my stock. This is another GIMP trim, but navy blue. And then there is a lovely green here. This is like a sage green. I wonder what the person was doing with all these trims. Although I can just imagine that's what they'll say when my stuff goes to auction or to sale somewhere. I wonder what this woman was doing with all this stuff. She had so much of it. And black. And they'll say, oh my gosh, that woman had so much fibers. She must have been a store. And then this one is kind of a scallopy edge trim. This is also nice because when you glue this down as a trim to something, all these little ends can be used as places to hang a dangle. And you can make some really gorgeous decorative trims just by adding a few little things off of the little loops itself. Very pretty. Another small piece of lace. This one looks a little bit stressed, so this will just go into my slow stitching. It looks like it's kind of the chewed up end of something that somebody cut off, like a remnant, but it's good for slow stitching. More white. This one's pretty. It's got pearls in it. It's like a little rosette with pearls. I like it. It's different. This one is tiny, tiny roses. This is very pretty. Probably something that it could be found on AliExpress or BB Craft or Temu. It's just a little organza rosette and then with the pearls. Very pretty. And another small piece of white and a little bit more beige. So that was all out of one bag. Now, knowing me, the bag was probably $1 or $2. I don't know which one of us bought it. Like I said, I bought some of this. She bought. It could be a combination of two. I really don't know. I don't remember anymore. We had so much fun opening it as it was. So we were cutting off and taking shares and all kinds of fun things. This next thing is mine. This came out of one of my baggies, but I think the baggie is no longer a baggie. It was fill a bag for $2, and I know this came out of it with a bunch of other stuff, but there is a ton of mileage here. This is an offcut that somebody was using for quilting. I guess sometimes they use this for binding the edges of quilts, right, Jen? It is 3 inches wide. This could be used so many ways. It could be made into little squares or little pieces for clusters because it is cotton. So I could cut off a piece or just tear it off and have an instant little piece for doing clusters. It can be used as a long strip for belly bands or pockets. This, you could cut off a piece like this and further enhance it and make a pocket. Snippet rolls. This could be, the back side of a snippet roll and then build on this side and have this beautiful decoration on the other side. It's already got lines in here, so it would be very fitting if you're sewing on it anyway. So many ideas for this. So yeah, just, I put it in the bag. It was only part of the bag for $2. And the bags were... they were bigger than this. They were like a 12-pound, like this. This was a bag, because this one says $4, but this was a bag that says, here, this is a $2 bag. This is it. So if you put this down at the bottom, and squish and squish and squish, and we cut off the tops. So this is where the knot would have been anyway, so I would have filled it to the maximum, because if you didn't fill it, the girls there are amazing, because if you didn't fill it, they said, pick a color or I'm going to fill it for you. Because they didn't want you to leave with empty bags. They wanted them full, because anything that's left over has to be packed up and sent away. So they came along and helped you. If they saw you picking out only purple fabrics, they dug in the piles, because it was just heaped. If you can imagine banquet tables that were probably 3 feet deep in fabric scraps, in boxes, were holding them up, but you had to dig and dig and dig to find things that you wanted. So you'll see some of the things that went into my bag. But yeah, if you didn't fill that bag full enough, they helped you. They'd find fabric and show it to you, and then you put it in your bag. This was a bag of lace. I'm pretty sure I didn't pick this. I'm thinking Thelma did, and then I got the leftovers, because I don't need any more white lace, but this will go in my dyeing bucket now. All the white stuff will go in a dye bucket so that I can do my next batch of dyes. And you can bet it's going to be purple. But just an assortment of, like, this is a crocheted lace. This is a white gathered lace. Okay, so it's like a ruffle. Well, that's kind of cute to keep aside for putting on trimming the edge of a page. Some plain gathered lace. This is a synthetic material, so it's not old. It's probably 1980s, 1990s. About a 1.5 inch gathered lace here. This one's a double lace, 2 layers, but again, synthetic. Another single layer. I don't like a lot of gathered lace. What I tend to do is I tend to cut off the braid, but the braid I roll up and make into rosettes, so I don't waste it. And they make really cute rosettes. And then I just cut off. I used to try and pick all of this edging off, like the hemmed edge off, but it takes forever. And now I just cut it off along the seam, and then I roll this up to make some rosettes, and fun and easy. This one's got a little more cotton in it than the others, but still not an old lace. It's not antique. It's 1980s stuff. And we don't want to be calling 1980s antique. Otherwise, a lot of you girls out there are going to be like, what? It's not antique. It's not even retro yet. A cotton eyelet. Again, fun stuff to use, but I always take the hem off. First of all, if it's gathered and I want to use it gathered, it's kind of a chunky, top to use as a gathering. So if I'm going to gather it, I'm going to cut this off and regather it so it has a much softer fold to it. So yeah, not my thing to use this stuff the way it is. It's kind of nasty, as I say. Another eyelet trim, scalloped on both edges. This is very pretty. And there's more. All of this is stuffed in a bag. Probably was $1, $2 at the most. And very narrow. This is pretty. This might be an exception that I would make because it's a very light gathering. So it just gives it that little bit of dimension. So I would leave this one. I wouldn't try to attempt to cut the trim off of it. I would just use it the way it is because it's very light, not chunky. Some cotton lace. This is again not old, but it's a little nicer of a material to work with. Another cotton one. This one is wider. This is all great for snippet rolls, this type of lace. Needs a good ironing to flatten it out, but very pretty. Another cotton one. Flat, very pretty. This is very delicate looking. Again, not old, but certainly very pretty. that this is probably one that stands out the most to me, and maybe that ruffle trim that I liked, the double ruffle. This is nasty. This will go in the, if you don't want it, it's going to the thrift shop pile. Because I have one of those too for the girls when they come. It's like a freebie pile. If you don't want it, then it's going to the thrift shop. So yeah, that's going in the nasty pile. And then more eyelet. So I think all of this I'm just going to put in my dye bucket and dye it all at one time. I need some purple lace, so I think the purple is coming. Actually, there is a sign that the purple is coming, but you'll have to wait for that sign. The purple is coming. So yeah, another eyelet trim, again, going in the pile. But that's a lot of mileage for the $1 or $2 that I paid for the, or one of us paid for this. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't even know if Thelma remembers either. It was just, if you saw my living room when we were doing this, we should have taken pictures. I don't know why we didn't. We had lace and fabric just piled everywhere while we were looking at it. It was fun. Now this is a little bit nasty, but there was so much of it. I said, oh, I think we could use this one way or another, and I will share it. There is so much of it. You'll see it because I think I lost the bag. So there might be more of it in the pile, but it came all of this in one bag for I think $2. It's a little bit nasty, but it's doable. I think I'm going to drop it into my purple because it's a little too much pink for me with the gray. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you think. I think I'm going to dye it purple and see what happens, or at least half of it. And then I'll keep half of it. I'm going to actually, these pins look like they're getting a little bit rusty, but there is so much here that, you know, I just said, well, I'm sure we can do something with this that would be fun. And my first thought was to dye it. So yeah, that's going to happen. I'm taking all these pins out as I see them because they are rusting this fabric. You know, that's the scary part, is how many households had this fabric. It looks like it was going to be like it's got a stitching on here to keep it from fraying, but even that's coming out. So you got to wonder how many households has this gone through, and I have it now, and who's going to get it next? Jen, Dip. Those poor girls have no idea. Okay, I can't even find, oh, here's the pin. Oh, that's the wrong end of it. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Oh, it's not even a pin, it's a needle. Okay, somebody stuck a needle in here. And, you know, same with whatever is wound around here. So I think some of this is going to have to go in the purple pile, and I'll have to do it all at once. I'm sure it'll turn out really nice, especially with the silver gray around the edge on a dark purple. Purple is coming. Oh, another nasty. But, you know, this kind of says strawberry shortcake to me, you guys. If this doesn't say 80s, I don't know what does. Yikes. Okay, a layer, another layer, another layer, and a ribbon going through it. Oh, my word. I lived through that time period. I probably sold this lace in my store, this very same lace, and women probably walked in and went, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Isn't it funny how when you look back at things and you go, that is so cheesy. Well, this is one of them. And, you know, somebody probably trimmed a garment with this and wore it. Not me. I didn't wear this stuff. I didn't like lace on clothing. This was a $1 bag. Whether it was mine or Thelma's, I don't know. Half of it is obviously missing. And it might have been mine. I know I had some bags and I was holding things up saying yay or nay, and she would take what she wanted because I don't care. I have lots of this. I was just buying it to share mostly anyway. So yeah, some silver pearls. These are great for couching when you're doing slow stitching. Great little item to use to enhance your decorating for slow stitching. So again, another item to go in my slow stitching, I don't know what, inspiration pockets. Inspiration pockets is what I was calling it. Love this trim. This trim is very nice to cut into individual pieces and use like that to embellish. It's all white, so it's going in the white pile. This looks like it was a collar of some kind. So a great trim to add on a journal cover, but again, going to dye it. Dyeing it all. And here's another collar type piece. That will be very pretty, but this could also be cut up into little individual pieces. So you don't have to use it as a whole, but it would wrap around a journal very nicely. Or if you use this on the front cover and then, you know, found a way to drape some of this or cut it off so that you're just using this part of it on the front cover. Don't do a lot of, in fact, I haven't done one for probably about 3 years where I've done a really lacy type cover. It's been a while. There's not very much here, and it looks like it's taken its toll. There's a little bit of tearing in here, but it's still pretty to stitch for slow stitching, so it might end up in that pile. And a little bit of gold trim. I like it and I don't like it. It's one of those things. It depends on what I'm using it for, and because it's gold, it either has to go on a boho type journal or a Christmas something, which I don't do Christmas, not much at all. So I might enhance it with beads. Excuse me. So, or, if somebody ends up taking it, that's fine too. Or I could put it in the purple bath. Then we've got purple and gold, which might be a little bit more interesting. Okay. Another one of these bags. Now this is where I'm saying one could have been mine, one could have been Thelma's. We were all grabbing and picking, and this is mostly all GIMP in different widths, and this one's like more ivory colors. There's a little bit of grosgrain ribbon, and that's about a 3/4 inch grosgrain. This is nice for making flowers, but it looks like it's a little bit aged. So I think it'll have to go in the dye bucket. I have to sort through all of this anyway. This is very, it was a border of something. I don't know if they took it off or just never used it. It looks like it's new, but it's very yellowed. So I think either it goes in the dye bucket or it goes in the goodbye bucket because it's a little bit soiled, and I don't know if I would dye it in something that's red. It's really meant just as a, just the red crocheted trim because it gets stitched onto something, but I think it's more in the goodbye pile. So there's that. And if, like I said, $1, $2, I'm sure I wouldn't have paid more than $1 for this if it was me, because I have lots of this, so it's not like I need it. Excuse me. I don't know why I got a tickle in my throat. But if it was $1, I might buy it because I could share it with everybody or color it. Another one of these trims that has the pink ribbon going through it. This one isn't as nasty as the first one. But yeah. If anything, I would take the pink off of it and just use the lace by itself, but going in the dye bucket, I think. Now, I have a drink here. I'm just going to grab it. We went out for lunch today, which is kind of nice. Okay, another little baggie here. This was Thelma's. She took, I think, 2 things out of here and gave me the rest. I don't know what she paid for it, but again, $1 or $2. It is all tassels. And they are beautiful. If you want an instant tassel to put on your journal, this is perfect. There's nothing to do. Just to make it stand out a little bit more, I might add like a little trim of beads or a little bit of bling of some kind glued on or stitched on, some sequins. That just gives it a little bit of extra, over and above what the tassel is. Some of them are very tiny, and this one looks like a spider almost in my stuff. This one looks like it came off of an earring. But lots of them are in pairs. Now, when you get them out of the bag like this and they're all wonky, I iron them. I mean, I don't have a steamer, but I imagine you could steam them. That would work as well. But I will get out my iron and I'll just dampen it a little bit, and then I will iron them all flat. And it works. It works just fine. Put a little bit of tea towel or paper towel or something over top when you're doing it, dampen it, and then you will have them easy to work with afterwards, and they will sit nice for you. And I hang them on jewelry type displays so that they do stay flat, so that they're not going to get curled up again, but most of them do stay flat. I was thrifting and I came across, and I didn't buy it. I have no regrets. But I came across about maybe 6 huge, not the regular freezer bag, the large freezer bag, but the really big, massive one. About 6 big bags of this fiber, but it was, some of it was cut and some of it was still on kind of like a little skein of sorts. But they were separated in colors, and it just looked like so much work to maintain it that I just said, no, I don't need that in my life. If you can believe that. But yeah, and I thought about it after. Well, I could use it for tassels, but it's like, oh, Kim, you have so much stuff for tassels. So I actually said no. I didn't buy not even one bag, and there was like one bag was all pinks. But even still, like I looked at the bag, like they had a beautiful bag of all greens, for example, but there was a lot of lime green and an off green, like a Christmas green that I wouldn't use. And then, maybe a third of it was kind of a sagey or puke green that I love. Puke green. I still said no, believe it or not. But yeah, it just amazes me what you can find in the wild when you don't know what you're looking for and it's there. But I put it back. So now this one, again, a wrinkled mess. I would just finger comb it as best I could, and then if not, I would iron it all flat. It takes a few seconds to do, but you can get them so that they look more manageable. Another one that looks like it came off of an earring. Some little bits. This is one of those bookmark type or tassel on graduation cap or something. I have a few of these in the pile too. These are a little bit nasty, so you might get sent away. But yeah, just a good variety of colors. I will use these bigger ones here, definitely, and I will hook them all up together. And then if the girls want some, they can also take a few, whatever they need. But yeah, so I got those. So thank you, Thelma, if this was a gift from you. I can't remember. I don't know where this came from, Thelma. I have no idea. But it's just little threads. This again might be good for my little inspiration pockets, because I will put a thread pack in each one that I can use for whatever color of slow stitching I want to do. Yes, I'm liking that idea so much. I can't wait to, I'm going to have a whole pile of stuff that I gathered together for this and show you how I put it into these little pockets. Now that I've come up with the idea, I'm excited to actually make it. And then this was my find. It was a very lucky find, and I grabbed it up, no problem. It's elastic cord. It was $2 for the package. So you can see I went a different route than fabric, at least for today, for this video. So yeah, 2 full rolls. I don't know what's on here. I'm going to guess that it's probably about 100 yards, just knowing. And yeah, just good elastic cord. This is great for doing Midori style notebooks or travel journals, and using this instead of stitching in your signatures. I have been talking about it a few times, not super a lot, but a little bit, that I'm doing a new style of journal binding that I plan to show you in the near future. But right now I've got to get all these videos. And I think I told you a while back that there was at least 14 that I had to get through before I could even start doing some of the stuff I really want to show you. So this is, I'm probably around halfway through the videos that I have to get done before I venture into anything else. But I'm going to be doing this new style of journaling, and part of it is a Midori style of slipping in notebooks. And this type of elastic comes in very handy for that. But there's also a product that I had seen before, but it never dawned on me to use it for notebooks. But Thelma showed it to me, and I love it. So that is where the idea started. That I'm going to use that product if I can. I'm not 100%, but I did buy some of this product that she showed me, and I will show it to you, but I may change it up a little bit. But anyway, elastic cord there's never a shortage of uses for this, and I will have no problem using this in my journal making. So for $2, this is kind of a steal, right? So I'm happy about that. Here's more of that pink. Take that needle out of there, pin out of there. Ooh, some of these have been in here for a long time. Whenever you find it like this, take that pin out, because this is rusting your stuff. Oh, look at this, is just stuck right on here. Oh my gosh. And it's not in very far. What is the problem here? Okay, it should come out now. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's going right into the garbage. When I throw pins in the garbage, I always, yeah, it's very rusted. I always wrap them in a piece of cardboard and then tape it. It's just my thing. I always worry that, some animal might get into the garbage, and then this will be in there. So that's the only way I can justify throwing it in the garbage. I can't really recycle it, because even if it goes into the recycling bag, the chances of them finding it and recycling it are slim to none anyway, so it probably would still end up in the landfill. But yeah, more of this trim. Okay, another bag of all kinds of goodies. So again, now this says 50 cents, but I think there's more than one bag in here. I don't know which came first, so it's one of those things, right? Lace, gathered lace again, nasty stuff. I'm gonna get rid of the spool and see if anybody wants it. Doily that has a sticker mark on here, so that's definitely going in the dyeing packet. This is pretty, almost feels like bandage gauze, but it's got little hearts on it. It's kind of holy to be bandage gauze, but, well, actually bandage gauze is holy, isn't it? But yeah, it has that feel to it. It's like, it should go in the medicine cabinet. And then a little slow stitch piece that's going to go in my little thing. And then these are little flowers that somebody must have started to take them apart. There's a few that are, oh no, they're not. Okay, maybe it's in another bag. I know I had seen some loose ones, or maybe I've taken them out already, because I was doing some stuff with these. So I might have used them. But yeah, there's a little strand of that. Again, could go into a slow stitching bucket. Some of this stuff, when you have small amounts like this, it is nice to put it somewhere where you're going to use it for those reasons, because, sadly, I I often put things like this in a spot and then I can't find it, or I don't think of it when I want to use it for something. So more and more I'm going to do some inspiration pockets. This is another mishmash. Now it says $1, but I don't know the story on it anymore. This is a lovely piece of lace. I would definitely use this, definitely for a belly band or some type of trim, but it looks like it could even be used as a journal cover, or not journal cover, a journal closure, because you could actually put a tie on either end of this. So that's pretty. It might be like a hairband type of lace. I'm not sure, to make hairbands. Oh, I'm not even going to open this one. You know what this is. Yeah, it's nasty. I always laugh at Deb when she opens up a bag of wool and there's a ball of Fentex in there. She can't even touch it. And it just cracks me up. I know that feeling. And Fentex, when it gets old, you know what it's like. It's nasty stuff too. And she just said, yep, not even going to take it to the thrift shop. She just throws it right in the garbage. And it just cracks me up because she doesn't even know what it's called. It's called Fentex. And it used to be used for macrame mostly, right? Anybody who does macrame remembers that stuff. And it was nice at the time. But when it's aged and it's been in a bag or in a stash for many years, it is kind of nasty. So I know what she means. Some cotton lace. This is pretty. It's got a little bit of a gather to it, but not a lot. So either I would trim that off. It's very fine. I would trim it off and just use it flat. But I like it. This is a nice one. Kind of a buttercup yellow, not quite ivory, not quite white. When I look at it here, it looks more yellow to me, mixed with these colors. But yeah, it's pretty plain. I would again trim off the gathering. This one is doubled over a crocheted cotton or a cotton trim. This is nice. I like this one. A big doily. Now this one's got lots of little scallops on here. And this one smells like it's been in somebody's stash for a long time. So I'm going to have to throw that in the wash. All of this, I always do the scratch and sniff test, but all of this smells good. This I just got a whiff of, so not fond of that one. I'll have to be washed. And this is another crocheted. It's a little bit nasty, but it's usable. There's a ton of it. It is usable. It just has to be ironed in order to use it, because it doesn't look nice like this. It doesn't even look nice on a project when it looks like this. So if you get this stuff and you're going to use it, please iron it out flat at least. If nothing else, give it a good iron. It makes all the difference to your projects. Don't use it like this off the roll. But yeah. Yeah, so you can see there's all these empty bags coming through here. So there's little bits and pieces. This is an eyelet trim. Not one of my favorites again. I would have to cut this off in order to use it. Not going to happen the way it is. May not even happen at all. This is lovely. Very airy. I want to say it's vintage, but I don't think it is. It's more a vintage look, but it's a nicer quality compared to what we're used to from the 70s and 80s and more current. I find that the laces now are getting much nicer as long as you stay away from those mixed trims where they've got things like pearls and stuff in it. Those tend to be a cheaper lace. But I find that the lace you buy nowadays is very nice lace. As long as you're not buying it where it's mixed with other things, some other odd fibers in here. But this is very pretty and there's lots of it. I will definitely use that on projects. Some with little yellow bits in the center. This is almost like a seam binding to me, but it's not. But you know, it's thin like that. And there's a little bit of mileage here on that. Okay. Yeah. A flower. That's pretty. That'll go in another bucket. All of this is going to get sorted now once the camera's off and put away and dealt with in the way it should be. This is nice, needs a good ironing, double-sided. I would use this. Another piece of this gauze type lace. And this pink surprisingly doesn't offend me. Nancy, I know you're laughing. I should send Nancy some of this. She loves pink. You want some of this, Nancy? But this one surprisingly doesn't offend me. I actually like this lace. This is pretty. And then another crocheted cotton. And this is nice. Again, needs an ironing. There's little bits and pieces in here. So yeah, fine. I will card what I think I should card and then deal with the rest afterwards. Not on camera. I won't do it for you on camera, but I will put the little piles of these things with you into something. Oh dear. This one says, you know, it doesn't even say grandma, because my grandma wouldn't have worn something like this. You know, it's a lace collar, maybe for a little girl, because it's not very big. I imagine it would have been for somebody small, but I would chop it up and use it that way in little bits and pieces. Not much of it anyway. So, and another piece of that this crochet. Okay, this one was obviously glued to something before, and it's been removed. Yeah, this one's got something on the back side of it, so they must have pulled it off, changed their mind, and stuck it in their bag of lace. It's the same as this one, so this one, I think I'll throw it in the wash and see what happens. That's that for, oh no, there's more. There is more. I don't know where that came from, but it's orange. And this is pretty. It's similar to that other crocheted one. Well, they're both machine made, but it's pretty. It's the right color pink that I would be okay with. I can use that. This is kind of a rickrack with little red fuzzies on it. There's a lot of it. I would use this in trim, but I don't normally use red and white together, but I would use it as tassel trim, like, you know, for in tassels, but I don't know. I'll see if the girls want some of this. Jen, Deb, let me know. Leave me notes as we go along, as the video goes along, so I know what you like and don't like. And just more crochet trim. Another bag that says $1, but you can tell that the bags weren't full. They weren't necessarily the right bag. And it was just all mixed. Push that over a little bit. There's more. Oh, look what I found. This stuff just multiplies. I shouldn't have left it alone. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, I think this is the last of it now. Another big batch. I told you there was lots, and I think it was only $1 or 50 cents for the whole thing. Yeah, it was 50 cents. This is the bag, because I remember it came in the bag and there was no price on it, and the woman put 50 cents on it. And so then I took it. So yeah, Jen and Deb, you know you're getting some of this, whether you like it or not. Okay, this next baggie I paid $1 for. There might be a couple things missing, it looks like. But I bought this to use for my boho stuff. And of course, this is an elasticy type trim. But it's nice to, you know, to use as a border on something for my journals. And then this one in the gold it's kind of got a scallopy edge to it. Let's see if I can flatten it out enough for you to see. I don't know if I'll be able to use it easily like this. I may just use it in slow stitching and stitch it down so that it lays flat, but it's kind of scallopy. There's no elasticity to it, so it's meant to be a flat trim, but it's getting it to lie flat. So this is something that I wouldn't want to hot glue it down onto a journal because the glue would seep through here easily and it would discolor the sequins. So this is something that has to be hand stitched. And to hand stitch it onto a journal cover, you have to do it before you've actually put the cover together. Otherwise you risk not getting it on straight, and then how do you get your needle through if you got too much thickness? And then once you put it onto a fabric journal cover like this, before you put it together, then you risk putting the cover not on straight and it ends up like this. So how do you use this? I recommend with this is to slow stitch in small amounts onto something like a little patch that you're going to maybe take the patch and then glue that down to your project that you're going to decorate. That also means, though, that right down to the last, wherever you cut it, from here to here, you have to really reinforce stitching those on all around. Is it worth it? Of course, it's always worth it when it looks beautiful, right? But it is work, and so it's something you have to prepare to do. That, if you're going to use this, you want to slow stitch it down to something properly. I don't know how, now this is a different gold too. This is more of a, so this is a different one here. Let's just see this, how it looks. Oh, here's a small piece of it. Okay, so this is the same thing. Like, it's so curled up. I don't know how they actually, this one is a little bit easier. So this one I probably could glue down following the threads on the back side. You could glue it down, but it would have to be done after the journal is made again, or glued down to a piece that is separate from your journal. For example, if you were gluing it down to a ribbon and then gluing the ribbon down to your project, or a piece of lace and then gluing the lace down, then you can get it on straight. This might be too narrow to show you, but if you were making it kind of a cluster, you might want to glue something like this on top, and then you have control. But wherever you cut it at both ends, you have to be prepared that you're going to lose a few of these, or you have to stitch them down manually in order to get them to stay down. It's a little bit of work, but it depends on how you are willing to, what you're willing to do. So this one is harder to use, but certainly worth it when it is flat and laying down nice and flat, and it can be very, very decorative. Sometimes, just thinking about it now, like sometimes you could just cut it wherever. Oh gosh, I'll never find my scissors on my table now. They're buried here. You could just cut it, let whatever fall off, glue it down however you want, and then do some repairs with some additional sequins or beads to repair it around the edges. It's just one of those things you have to play and figure out how it can work for you. But like, just talking to you, I've lost a sequin here, and these will come off pretty easy if I keep pulling at them. And it's not easy to make that little bit look nice. So you have to kind of glue it and gather it the best you can, stitch it down so it's not so obvious, and then find something to finish it with, like a cabochon or a large gem, or do some decorative beading around it. That's all I can say, for how I would use this. And will I use it? Absolutely. Will I use it in that method? Absolutely. I will take the time to stitch that on there. And that's, again, I when I look at how people do things, I have the greatest respect when I know that somebody would have had to finish their edges in order to make it look nice. Those are the journals that I enjoy seeing the most, because I know how much work goes into this, and it may look simple, but when you start sitting there and beading, this is a good half hour's work just to fix this little end up, maybe even an hour. but it depends on what you're using. So yeah, if you're going to do it, take the time, do it right, and enjoy the process and enjoy the finished product. Okay, that's my spiel on that. I don't know where I was going really with that, but it's just what I would do. Now this one is sitting at the bottom, so I know it came out of a bag of stuff. There is another empty bag here that says $1. I don't know if this is it or not. It is a doily, and I just looked at it and said, oh yeah, we're going to cut that into pieces because I can trim it into 3 squares, like a rectangular shape. This would look pretty on a journal card or as a journal topper. I can cut it into a square. I can make a pocket out of that by adding some fabric on the background. I think I have this upside down. Yeah, I do. Much better on this side. So you can add some, decorative or plain fabric on the background and just make it as a square for a pocket. You can further, stitch it down to a piece of fabric and do some gems and beads and sequins on top. Just like, it's when I'm slow stitching, it's gems, beads, sequins, buttons. And when I'm doing a journal card with a collage, it's a bird, butterfly, flower, and label. So it's the same thing, just a different pile. And so then you can cut it into 2 and make it more decorative, or you can make little individual clusters. These would be beautiful, beautiful clusters, and you can see I have quite a collection of them just to chop and use it however I like. So this one I love. Almost to the bottom here. Do I save the best for the last or the last for the best? These ones were $1 each. I don't think they were opened because the tape is still sealed here on both sides. So somebody bought these. They are Maya Road Velvet Blossoms. This one is called Fire. They come in this beautiful tin for display. I mean, I will take the flowers out of here and put them into my flower buckets. Oh, I can't even find my scissors. I do have a blade here. Scissors are buried under this pile, so there we go. I can't even open them. What is the problem here? Maybe that's why they never used them. They couldn't open them. They paid originally, it looks like $3.99 for these, which is pretty good. I would have paid $3.99 for them. Why is this not opening? That's probably why they didn't use them. They probably couldn't get the container open. Oh, here we go. Okay. So they are velvet flowers, die cut. So where am I going with this? Yeah, get out your die cutter and cut some velvet. The best way to work with velvet. There you go. Here's another next lesson. These are so easy to cut out of velvet. But velvet, if you could have cut them, velvet, especially the synthetic velvet, which is the cheapest, the cheapest and the thinnest, which is how you want to cut these anyway. You want to have thin die cuts. If you try to use this velvet or the real velvet, real good quality velvet, either way, they're going to fray, and you're going to have those little bits everywhere. And then you risk, the flower is going to look shabby, which is fine if you want it shabby, but because you're die cutting in different directions on the fabric, some part is going to fray, some is going to be shabby, and some of it's going to have a straight cut. They're just going to look horrible. So if you want to use this stuff, whether it's the very thin synthetic velvet or velveteen, or the great velvet, the real velvet but real velvet is thicker, and so the pile is a little harder to die cut through. Put some book pages or something on top of it so that the die is cutting through the fabric and the paper. one day I will show you by actually doing this. But yeah, you want to have something for the die cuts to go through, so it goes past the fabric and into the paper. This way, if it doesn't cut through the whole paper, it doesn't matter. It's the die cut that you want. But in order to do this, the best way to do this is to put something like a label on the back. So if you have some sheet labels or some packing tape or wine labels, you know those wine labels that I show you that I use for all kinds of things. I can put this down and put some wine label onto it and then die cut it. It's also a great way to die cut napkins. Put some label on the back of your napkin and then die cut them, and you have the pretty prints die cuts. So there's your lesson of the day. But I will do a video of this. It's been on my mind to do one day, and I have some velvet to cut, so one day it'll happen. But for the $1 I paid for these, I said, I can use these. I can stack them up into the different shapes, which there are. But if you've got any kind of die cuts, it's easy to make these. You don't have to go out and buy them. And 9 times out of 10, you'd be using your scrap fabrics or scrap papers or whatever to make them yourself. But for $1, of course, I'm going to buy them. Now, when I say put a label underneath it, there's also velvet that you get at Christmas time. However, well, it's not so much limited in colors anymore. Christmas has become every color. But for the most part, you find, the nasty red and the nasty green. But there are some, like I've seen dusty blue and a dusty rose color lately, and white. Maybe there's a few other colors. When you buy that ribbon, it's very crunchy, and it has that plastic coating underneath, or whatever's underneath it. It's not the worst ribbon. It die cuts really, really well. But you're limited to colors, of course. So if you can't get that stuff to make this type of flowers, then you can also, like I said, put a label underneath it to stabilize it, or something sticky backed that you can put underneath that you don't care gets cut up. And even if it has paper on the back, if you don't want to take it off after, you don't have to. And it actually makes it glue better if you're gluing it down to a project. It glues better. You may have to be mindful that it might show on the edges if your edges curl up or stick somewhere. So keep that in mind, or just peel it off. It just means taking a pair of tweezers and pulling it off, or your little pokey tool and pulling it off. But yeah, I would cut any of that ribbon into flowers as well, and cut my own velvet flowers out of velvet using a label. There you go. So I got this color mix, which has the yellows, pinks, and oranges and reds. My colors, perfect. I have lots of uses for this. In fact, I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to play with something else on this one. And then this is your jewel tones. What do they call it? They call it water. There's 96 blossoms in here. What is this one? Yeah, 96 blossoms. At one time they paid $3.99, Maya Road. So this has got your, well, it's got that Christmas red and Christmas green velvet right in here with a little bit of purple and blue. So keep your eye out. Those rolls, they usually come about maybe 4 or 5 inches wide. That's great for putting through your Sizzix machine. Unbelievable. And if you have a poinsettia die, even better, because you can cut some beautiful red poinsettias, or burgundy. Yeah, burgundy. It comes in burgundy too. So you can cut some beautiful flowers yourself and save yourself $1, because I don't know that you'll find them for $1 anywhere anyway. But I also looked at it like I like the container. So it's a win-win. I get all these flowers to put in my flower stash, but I also have the container to play with. I will bring you along when I'm doing a session of die cutting flowers and show you some different tips and techniques with working with fabric. But there's that. So the last is my last for the best, although, it's not the best of the whole thing, but I like it. And I'm going to be sharing some of this with Jen and Deb because it's purple. This bag I paid $1 for as well. And it is a dusty purple. But it is a purple lace. It's not so bad. I like this one. And look how much is here. There's got to be 25 yards here at least. So it's a beautiful purple lace that I will card, and I will make sure to stick some in Jen and Deb's bags as well. Let me know for sure, girls, that you want it, but it'll probably be there anyway. By the time you see this, you'll probably already have got it. So you won't have a choice. So that's it. That's all for today. This is part 1. I've run out of time. It's part 1, and you can see there is no shortage of stuff, and I will save the other part, which has the fabrics and the wools, for the next video. And so stay tuned. It'll be within a couple of days of you watching this one. I hope you enjoyed my little excursion with the girls with our fabric sale. If you live in the area and you want to go to the fabric sale and you want to have fun and hang out with us for the day, let me know, and we will make sure to have you invited with us when the time comes for next year. It's the Grandmothers for Grandmothers of Africa sale. It is in May. I think it's the second weekend of May, on the Saturday. Is it the Mother's Day weekend? I can't remember, but it's on the Saturday. And fabulous fun. No shortage of wonderful things to search out and find. And it goes for a good cause. It's all around good. And look at all the fun stuff we get. And next year, I do plan to be donating some stuff to them as well. So there will be lots going back to them that they can sell for their sales as well. Have yourself a very creative day and a creative week. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.